watching Fintech Wave.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fintech Wave. This is Ken, back with another video. I just want to do a quick market recap. Right now, I'm on Coinbase's homepage, just looking at the numbers, quick overview. Bitcoin sitting at 47,736. The whole market has had somewhat of a pullback in the last 2 or 3 trading days. Bitcoin was around 57. I think it went as high as 58,000, and now we're back down to 47, almost 48,000. It went down as low as 45, I think, yesterday or the day before. So we're in a bit of a correction right now. Corrections can be healthy. I just wanted to take an opportunity to say, look, don't panic. If you're in crypto to get rich overnight, you're not being very realistic. Bitcoin is not going to go to $500,000 per coin tomorrow. That could take 2-3 years. I still think a 100K Bitcoin is on the table for this year. But what I find ironic is these people that love to chime in, when the chips are down, that's when the naysayers come out of the woodwork. Oh, it's going to go to zero and this and that, and it's garbage, it's worthless, all of this other stuff. Come on, let me just tell you like this, and I'm going to move on. The smartest people in the room are all invested in cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, and the top cryptos, right? And this didn't start yesterday. It's been around since 2009. And it came from pennies all the way to 5 figures. And they've been calling it garbage for the last 12 years. They've been singing the same song. And every year we go further, Bitcoin gets more and more scarce. There's only a finite amount that's ever going to be mined. So if you ask me, if you own any portion of Bitcoin, you own digital gold. Would I sell Bitcoin if I had it? Not anytime soon. No way, because I'm seeing at least a 6-figure Bitcoin as 2021 closes and we go into 2022. There are always going to be pullbacks. Remember, the stock market crashed in 1929. People were jumping out of windows, unfortunately. A lot of people lost their lives. Why? Because they bet the ranch, right? They were margined up to the hilt. Margin is when you buy securities on credit. So now not only is your money on the line, 50% of that money belongs to your broker. So if you put $100,000 up, and your broker gives you $100,000, now you got $200,000. And when the stock tanks by 80%, you owe your broker all kinds of money. He does a margin call, liquidates all your stock to pay for, that's part of the fine print. Look, if your stock goes down a certain amount and you have my margin money, I can liquidate, and that's what they do. But then a lot of times the liquidated stock is not even enough to cover what you owe your broker. So you're on zero and you owe your broker money. And when this thing is going on to the tune of millions of dollars, that's when people start jumping out of windows. People's eyes get big. Bitcoin goes over 51,000. Everybody's eyes get big. They jump in at 52, 53, 54. Boom. When you see Bitcoin rocket, it goes through 50,000 to 51, chills there for a couple of days, and then bam, goes to 58,000. You got to know it's going to pull back. Simply, if for no other reason than people are going to take profits. There are a lot of people that got in at 20,000, 30,000, right? A month ago, 2 months ago, Bitcoin was, what did we close the new year at? 20,000? So in 2 months, Bitcoin went to 50,000. That's more than double your money. If you had 10,000 in, you made 20,000, right? If you had 50,000 in, you made 100 grand. You better believe a lot of people are going to sell out. And then the first sign of bad news, like a bad day on the stock market and things start tanking, that's when people start running to liquidate. And then, of course, whenever this sort of thing happens, that's when, the pundits come out of the woodwork. Remember 2018? After Bitcoin hit like 20,000, and then all of a sudden 2018, it went down, and then China comes in, Bitcoin's banned. India comes in, Bitcoin's banned. And everybody was like, it's going to zero. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Let's look back at the charts now. Going to zero? Does this look like it's going to zero to you? Doesn't look like it to me. And even amidst the correction, it has still already begun to turn around and go back up toward 50,000. And this is the weekend. This is the worst possible time, because even when things are good, that's when the sellers come out of the woodwork. Anybody who follows crypto knows it'll be a wonderful week. And then you made the mistake to take a position on a Friday afternoon, one of the worst things you can do. And then you have the whole weekend to wait while the bears come out on the weekend. Always. I'd say 1 out of 10 weekends, it's bullish. Even if it's a bull market, people sell on the weekends. Always. So brace yourself. It's going to be a long, tedious weekend. There's going to be a lot of selling. Don't be surprised if Bitcoin goes down as low as 42, 43,000. I wouldn't. But you got to realize it was 20,000 in December. It's still going to be 42,000 in just February. Buying opportunity, if you ask me, then the smoke's going to clear. And, all of a sudden things are going to be back up north of 50,000 again. And all the blogs are going to be back talking about Bitcoin is going to the moon. Listen, with what happened with the GameStop fiasco recently, with a whole bunch of market manipulation that was exposed on the part of big hedge fund guys, right? Making the market do what they wanted it to do. I'm suspicious of any propaganda I see telling me that crypto is going to go one way or the other. I'm not sitting here telling you it's going to go up, down, or sideways. What I'm saying is what I would do is look at this as a pullback that represents a buying opportunity, perhaps, or just a chance to just evaluate what's going on in the market, get some further info, and just be confident about what you own, right? One big thing I want to talk about is if you have $50,000 saved up, for me, I don't think you want to take the whole $50,000 and put it on Bitcoin. That's not how you invest in securities. You don't take everything you have and spin the wheel with it. That's not how you invest. They say never invest more than you can stand to lose and this and that. What happens is people put everything up, like that margin example I cited a couple of minutes ago. That's classic on the stock market. People get margined up, and when the stock market tanks, they got to run for the hills. The broker comes selling all their securities, and then, they lose everything. A lot of times you can lose your shirt. Never bet everything on any security, stock, crypto, or otherwise. You evaluate your circumstances and you try to do the prudent thing. Always keep a little bit of cash in reserve for situations like this. Now, if you had $50,000 and you put 20,000 up and Bitcoin would have come down 16, 17%, whatever it is, now you still have $30,000. You could buy more. You might say, well, it's the weekend. Let me wait and see if it goes down to 42. Then I will buy more. Now, if you bought $20,000 worth at 57 and you buy $20,000 worth at 42, right? Your average price is the difference between 57 and 42 is 7.5. Now you're holding $40,000 worth at 49.5 instead of holding $20,000 worth at 57, right? That's called dollar cost averaging, a technique you can use, okay? If you're in a security and you've done your homework, and you have a long-term play, don't let a pullback make you run and sell, because as sure as night follows day, somebody buys in at 50 grand, the instrument pulls back to 40 grand, they're down 20%. They say, oh my goodness, now it's at 35. Let me sell and at least cut my losses. They sell, they walk with their 35,000, they take a $15,000 hit. And sure enough, as it always happens, in 7-8 days, the stock is now not just 50,000 again, it's 52, 55, 57. And they're shaking their head talking about, if I would have held it. If I would have held it, I'd have had 57,000. You've heard the story. I'd have done this. I'd have done that. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right? Listen, get your strategy together. Do your homework. And whatever it is you invest in that instrument based on sound principles, right? Listen to what other people have to say. Okay? Go look at what experts are doing. Find someone who's successful at it and benchmark his or her practices, as a potential way to go. Okay, but by all means, don't take everything you have and put it on anything ever, because you never know. Anything could happen. It could be a hurricane tomorrow, right? The minute we hear hurricane such and such brewing in the Gulf of Mexico, all of a sudden the stock market starts to pull back, always. And be careful investing on a Friday, because if you do, just be ready that no matter how euphoric things seem on Friday afternoon or midday Friday while the financial markets are going on, the weekend is always for crypto. And I'm sure a lot of people are laughing listening to me because they know what I'm talking about. You watch crypto over the weekend, you work all week, you watch the crypto market over the weekend, trying to hope that you'll see some good news. And sure enough, it's just like sideways and dipping and sideways and dipping. And it's just like, geez, nothing's happening until Monday. Most of the time, that's the case. So not only have we had a pullback, but don't be surprised if it's a long weekend of a lot of those posts like the one I just showed you. Bitcoin is trash. It's going to zero. And here's a chart that proves it. Oh, yeah, okay. They've been talking that yang since the pullback at the start of the crypto winter at the top of 2018. I don't buy it. Okay? I really, really don't. Not with all of the big money that I see going into Bitcoin. I do not buy it. I'm sorry. Maybe, yeah, based on some of the technology behind Bitcoin, it may lag in 2 or 3 years behind some other technologies like XRP, especially for payments. But I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to be used for payments. Bitcoin could quite conceivably become the store of value standard for the world. Okay. And that's a whole other digression. So I'm not going to go down that path. But, there's a reason it's sitting at 50,000. If you look at what's happening with fiat currency, you can't just keep minting Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a finite supply, period. That's it. And people are starting to wake up to the fact that, you can't spend gold as readily as you could spend Bitcoin. If you wanted to move gold from, the United States to Japan, you can't send it over the internet. I guess maybe you could ledger it, I suppose. But the physical gold, listen, ledger smedger. If I just bought $1 million worth of gold, I want my gold in my basement. You know what I mean? Forget what a ledger says. Oh, you mean the ledger says I own, $1 million worth of gold, but where's it sitting? In Nebraska? And I'm in Fiji Islands? No, give me my gold. Bitcoin's different. It's sitting in my Bitcoin wallet and I have the blockchain to prove it. Can't do that with gold. Maybe they'll come out with gold chain. I don't know. All I'm saying, gang, is don't panic. It's a pullback, happens all the time. And I'm pretty confident, and you can write this down, that within a week or two, Bitcoin will be right back above 50,000, pushing 60,000 again. Okay, this is Ken from Fintech Wave. Thanks for checking out this latest episode. If you like the content, please hit like and subscribe. Shout out to all the people who've subscribed already. I'm going to try to keep the quality content coming on Fintech. I appreciate you. See you next time, everybody. Take care.